In the wake of the recent case of bullying, which led to the death of a young boy at Dowen College, Sylvester Oromoni, there have been renewed conversations around bullying in our schools and our environment. Today on our Zoom chat, I have with me an educator, a therapist, a parent coach, and director at RonkePosh School in Lagos, RonkePosh Adeniyi.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. We have seen the case of Sylvester, which mostly emanated from bullying, and we're looking at what is the culture of bullying? How did that culture start, especially with young children?
Okay, so bullying is a learned behavior, whether it's learned consciously or unconsciously. It's a learned behavior. It's when someone says I don't like something and you continually do it repeatedly, it's an act of bullying. And these sort of things tend to emanate from the homes. And when children grow up with such a behavior and they don't know how to be loving to their friends and be kind, saying please, thank you, their magic words, I'm sorry, pardon me. It's from the home that these things are learned. They go to school. Schools are supposed to buttress this kind of behavior. But you find that many of the homes are failing, many of the schools are failing, and then this sort of behavior is thriving because that sort of toxic environment is ideal for the culture of bullying.
Okay, so from what we have seen, play out at Dowen College, how do you think issues like that should be addressed? To ensure that things like that don't even repeat themselves. What do you think parents are not doing right?
Parents are not doing a lot of things right. So parents need to train their children and not leave it to the schools. So parents need to spend time with their children. They need to understand their children. They need to understand the love languages of their children, the personality types of their children. They need to know everything, the traits that their children are manifesting right from an early age, and know where to nip things in the bud. Parents have a lot of work to do. It's irresponsible to bring somebody to this world and say you are busy working, you don't have time for that person, because you're definitely destroy that person's life. The person is going to be the life of others. We really shouldn't be birthing children if we don't have time for these children. So we can't overemphasize the fact that parenting, the family, the First Nation is deteriorating at an alarming rate globally. It's not just a Nigerian thing. And that is why we see the state of the nation as it is now. We see our leaders, we see our pupils, we see our children. Even yesterday, I still heard of children in primary school putting sanitizer in another one's water bottle. So you see that toxicity, and this is primary school. So these are children like 11 and under. So you can just imagine the trait. What was the expectation? So what are parents doing? What are children emulating? What are they saying? What are they emulating? So if the children are, you don't train your child falls into peer pressure, the child doesn't have time to communicate with you, a good child can become bad in secondary school. If they don't know how to say no. They can actually now join these fraternities and join these bad kids. But if you're someone that is involved with your child and you're bringing your child up right, then you would be able to know when things are going wrong. And we need to stop telling our children that they should man up, be a big boy, be a big girl. This is the way it is. Secondary school is like that. It's a phase that you go through. When we don't check these things, these are all red flags. When we don't check these things, then we have a situation that we have recently where Sylvester sadly passed away.
So is bullying, is it learned? Is it, will I say, inherited? Do people just see it from other people and just pick it up?
Bullying is a learned behavior. So at home, is daddy bullying mommy? Is mommy bullying daddy? How is mommy treating the house help? How is everybody treating the house help? The drivers, how do they speak to them? How polite are we in our family? What are our family values? Is respect part of our family values? Are we good to other people? Are we leaders? What are the things that we do? Children learn it, whether you're teaching them consciously or you're not. They see how you behave. Even when you tell lies and you tell them I'm not at home, tell them I'm not at home, and you are home, you're actually teaching your children this sort of negative and disempowering acts. So it is a learned behavior. If you're kind and you're good, your child won't just become bad. Just your child just want to manifest a negative behavior. And if you also have things of the child, even if the child is picking it up maybe at football or at whatever place, you would notice that something is going wrong. You're speaking to the school, you're speaking to the teacher that today this child was kicking another child, and you've spoken to this is what you did about it, and this is the action plan for the child. So definitely it's learned behavior, and if the environment allows it, then it will thrive.
Okay, so as an educator, what do you think is the role of the school, in curbing this bullying culture?
So the schools must never ever allow their environment to be a toxic environment where bullying can thrive. They shouldn't. There should be no bullying policy. Those sort of things to exist in your school. No bullying. And this bullying involves, name calling. It involves isolating children, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, any sort of abuse, neglecting, isolating children. Teachers do it too. So we must ensure that even leaders, bosses, a lot, as you can see, all on social media, a lot of teachers are complaining about school leaders bullying them. Bullying is like innate. It's a national culture in Nigeria. This thing sadly happened, but this is what we heard. I'm sure that so many children that have passed on because of this bullying, that have been maimed, their eyes, all sorts of things have happened to them. Even psychologically, a lot of people cannot function in jobs or even in their marriages because of the bullying that they have encountered along the way. So schools must put their foot down and not see anybody as better than the other. When a child does something, whatever your policy says is the consequence, make sure that it's the consequence. So also make sure that the parents that they're allowing into their schools are parents that have high moral values and want to work with them. If somebody is saying that you can't discipline my child, then there's a problem. Your child will come to school, do anything, and then a teacher can't do anything, which is what we have in many schools, especially secondary schools. In fact, sometimes when a child pushes another one on the playground, you will see the parents there. When a teacher or someone in the school can actually deal with that one if they're committed and deal with that issue and it's over. But you find these days that, somebody pinched my child. The teacher did this. Apologize to the teacher. Kneel down and beg the pupil. All sorts of, I want to be careful with my word. All sorts of things are happening in schools, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't. We should say no to bullying. It's everywhere. Look what happened. Some children were sadly crushed to death. They're protesting and they're being shot at. We're living in fear. When last mile officer stops you or police officer stops you, even if you know that your hands are clean, you start shaking because you know that they just always want something. They want to harass you. So it is the culture. Look at NSAS. It's everywhere we go. And we must stop it.
Thank you. So finally, from your experience, from your expertise, and based on all that we have seen so far, in the last few years, what would you say is the way forward in ensuring that this toxicity is curbed, so that we can be more human, in our action,
You've got that word. Humanity is fast eroding. That love is fast eroding. Everybody is like, mind your business. Mind your business. Me, I'm staying in my own lane. And that's why we don't love our neighbors as ourselves. So we have to allow leadership and family. We have to support families with parenting courses. With a lot of parents think as if parenting is innate. It's not innate. It's also learned. It's something that is learned. And we must ensure that at leadership level as well, that they're actually doing things right. Because they can't be giving people consequences when they themselves are bullying us. So we must ensure that strong leadership come 2023, and we must ensure that this bullying stops at national, federal levels, at all levels of government, and even in our families. You'll find that parents are beating children and don't get their way. A lot of people are saying justice for Sylvester, but a lot of them are beating their children blue black in the house. They're coming on social media saying, that is bullying too. The child didn't listen to you. Bah, go. You say it's love. No, it's not love. We have learned to associate pain with love. That's the thing. So we hurt each other and we think it is love. So we must ensure that at all levels, we begin to teach this thing called love once again, because unfortunately, we don't have it. It's no longer there.
I was going to ask, because this bullying, is it that people just do it because they just feel, okay, I am older, and I just think that because when I was younger, I got the same treatment, then I should do it to you?
Yes, a lot of people are doing it. And it's amazing. It's a lazy way to think, because if something happened to you, if you were beaten, if you really think about it, you will say, okay, this happened to me, but it's wrong. This are the consequences of it. A lot of people, they don't even know, because they put it away. There's something called unconscious incompetence, where you don't even know what you do not know. So you've been treated badly. I say hurts people. And instead of learning new strategies to raise our children, new strategies to relate with people, being emotionally intelligent, we will say, no, we already know the way. We don't want to learn anything. And as a result, we are hurting each other over and over again. Everywhere you go, you find that husbands are hurting wives, wives are hurting husbands, husbands are cheating on their wives, wives are being cheated on, and they're taking it because they say, oh, he loves me, I'm the one that provoked him, so let him beat me up. You know, all sorts of things. It's everywhere. This bullying is everywhere, and we must flush it out.
It's been an inciting and educative session with RonkePosh Adeniyi, an educator, parent coach, and director at Le Posh School. My name is Ijoma Thomas Odia. Bye for now.